All right. Bob Arum says he wants Deontay Wilder versus Tyson Fury next. Maybe. If all the stars align. Don't believe him. That's what we're going to talk about in this video. Welcome back to Fanon International Boxing. Hit that subscribe, hit the like, share the videos. Definitely check out our live streams that we do Monday through Friday. Check out the Patreon. Now let's get into this video. All right, shout out to Helen Yee on an excellent interview with Bob Arum, the owner, president, CEO, I'm not sure what his title is, of Top Rank Boxing. We all know who he is, the promoter of Tyson, the Gypsy King Fury. He was talking to Helen Yee and talking about a variety of issues, but mostly about Tyson Fury and Deontay Wilder. Saw some highlights for some videos coming up that came out, and they said that Bob Arum said that he wants to have Tyson Fury versus Deontay Wilder next, that he feels that Tyson Fury performed well enough, but he's nervous about the fact that either Tyson Fury or Deontay Wilder could lose because, you see it's the heavyweight division. And of course, you see the example that was set by Anthony Joshua, AJ, when he got knocked down 4 times, stopped by Andy Ruiz. I gotta tell you, I love saying that. I've been saying that every video for 2 weeks. When Anthony Joshua got knocked down 4 times and quit up against the ropes against Andy Ruiz, that could happen to either Tyson Fury or Deontay Wilder. That's what Bob Arum feels. So he would be willing, and he really wants to push that fight up next. Then I listened. That's what I was told. No reason to believe that the people that said that were not being truthful about that being their impression. But being the contrarian that I am, I had to go listen to the video and listen to what Bob Arum said carefully. That fight more than likely is not going to happen next because of a few things that Bob Arum said in that conversation, just kind of cavalierly, right? Just threw them out there. Might not have thought too much about the complication, how complicated what he said would actually be. He assumed, one, that it would be a joint pay-per-view event between Fox and ESPN. Now, unless there was some conversations about what networks these fights were going to be on before. Now, that is a possibility because we know that Deontay Wilder said that they were talking about doing that fight after the Luis Ortiz fight, right? Just remember that. Deontay Wilder had come out and said before the fight with Anthony Joshua, when Anthony Joshua got knocked down 4 times and quit against the ropes, ruining all of Eddie Hearn's plans. Before all that happened, before Eddie Hearn's plans got ruined, Team Petty all the way, baby. Deontay Wilder said that he was going to rematch Tyson Fury. But then Tyson Fury came out and said that wasn't true. And then Bob Arum came out and said they weren't sure if that was true. And they were in talks about it. But magically, in a conversation with Helen Yee, now he's ready for it. Next. Hold on. Didn't you just talk to... Didn't Tyson Fury just call Deontay Wilder a liar? And that wasn't settled? That wasn't what was going to happen? And he was going to be fighting in October? This is mighty confusing. But in these conversations that took place, did they talk about whether or not they were both going to be on Fox and ESPN? A co-promotional deal between Fox and ESPN? Why would that be an easy thing to assume that Deontay Wilder's team would be willing to accept? And why would you assume that Deontay Wilder and Tyson Fury's team were going to be willing to accept 50-50? And why would you be willing to assume that Luis Ortiz And Deontay Wilder's going to drop out of the Luis Ortiz fight for Tyson Fury. When you'd already had discussions, according to Deontay Wilder, when Tyson Fury called him a liar, before Tyson Fury called him a liar, that said they were going to fight Luis Ortiz, then they were going to fight you. So I'm listening carefully to what the guy says, and quite honestly, man, it just seems like he was sitting interviewing with Helen Yee, very good reporter, watch her stuff all the time, and he was just kind of talking as he was going. Yeah, we'd love to do that right now, or maybe we wouldn't want to do that right now, but yeah, we would probably want to do that right now. And you can listen to how he contradicted himself with some other things that he said in the same interview. He talked, and I always find this interesting with Bob Arum. Bob Arum was talking about his deal that he has with ESPN and how the great thing about ESPN is that it allows so many people to get access and excited for these fighters. And it's not like when we sold our fight game to the premium networks, that being Showtime and HBO in the United States. That's what he means when he says that. When he means premium networks, it means it's Showtime, HBO, where you have to pay a fee to watch fights on that network. A lot of times people from other countries think that Showtime, the network that Deontay Wilder fights on, is premium, but it's not. But I digress. Anyway, he talks about ESPN being this free network or virtually free network, virtually in everybody's house, which is true. And how now the PBC is starting to realize that. The PBC was trying to do that before you were trying to do it when you were suing the PBC to keep that from happening. But anyway, the thing that struck me is he in one breath talks about how he wants to have these fights and get everybody talking about it because it's going to be on ESPN or it's going to be on Fox, but then talks about the fight being on pay-per-view. Which is it, Bob? Do you want to have them all on TV or do you want to have them on pay-per-view? Pay-per-view, that's $7,500. So anyway, I don't put much, suffice it to say, I don't put too much into what Bob Arum just said to Helen Yee. I believe that they're going to move on ahead and they're going to try to do their another interim fight against somebody else on ESPN. And if it's on ESPN Plus, that's another contradictory statement because ESPN Plus is not available to everybody. ESPN Plus is an extra app. It's an app that you got to pay extra money for. So anyway, man, Bob was just, I guess that's when you're almost 90 years old, man, that you kind of flip-flopping, jumping from here, jumping to there, kind of like I'm doing in this video. And I know I'm doing it, but whatever's clever, man. I'm an old man too. Look, I'm excited for the heavyweight division. I really do think Tyson Fury is an excellent, excellent fighter. Bob Arum, I don't trust as far as I can throw the internet to actually try to make this fight. Bob Arum and MTK Global are the reasons that we didn't already get this fight. And that's why I'm saying, man, just don't. There's some reason that they didn't take that fight. We should have had this rematch. Should have been done. The rematch should have been done. Okay, but Tyson Fury ducked out of it. Went and fought Tom Schwartz. Tom Schwartz gets in one of the more trash fights of the year. Biggest mismatch, had to be one of the biggest mismatches of the year. And now he's ready to get a 50-50 split with Deontay Wilder in a pay-per-view event that's split between two networks. That doesn't sound right. It doesn't sound right. If that fight is going to be on pay-per-view, why wouldn't it be on the same pay-per-view that it was on before when it did decent numbers? Did actually solid numbers on Showtime. But we'll see. When he was talking, there's just so many things in that interview that make me believe that he really was just sitting up there talking. Even at the end of the interview, when he talked about Terrence Crawford and Errol Spence Jr., which was an entirely different conversation. Man, this guy has little to no faith in Terrence Crawford. He said that, the Terrence Crawford fight, well, I never talked to the PBC. We haven't talked to him at all. And then later on, he says, well, I talked to him because they said that they wanted it next year. So when I talked to him and they said he wanted it next year, then, why would I talk to them anymore? So, Bob, did you talk to him or did you not talk to him? You just said you didn't talk to him, but now you're telling me you talked to him. Okay. And then he says something to the effect of, I want 60-40 for Terrence Crawford, but I'd be willing for 50-50. And, if we can't do 50-50, let's do 45-45, 10 goes to the winner. Man, when is the last time and then in it, he says, Helen Yee, shout out to Helen Yee that did the interview, asked him, so Bob, did you offer that to him? He's like, nah, I just made that shit up. But I was like, nah, I just made that up. I just made it up right now. Look, man, don't take anything in that interview seriously, man. Don't take anything in that interview seriously. That fight will happen when that fight happens, probably next year. My thought would be that it would be sometime in 2020, after Tyson Fury goes ahead and beats somebody else you ain't never heard of, or he fights Jarrell Big Baby Miller. Now, wouldn't that be ironic that a guy that tests positive for every drug known to man jumps right back in there against Tyson Fury? Now, I don't mind him fighting Tyson Fury because Tyson Fury's not a belt holder. He ain't got a championship. And I would rather see, quite honestly, Deontay Wilder go the Andy Ruiz route. Because I have a suspicion, I'm hoping that AJ has enough sense to know that he shouldn't fight Andy Ruiz again and takes a couple of Tom Schwartz fights. Deontay Wilder fights Andy Ruiz, and then we got a unified champion. I mean, Tyson Fury is a very, very good fighter. He's obviously going to be getting hyped up over there on ESPN, but anyway, that is what it is. Let me know what you think in the comments section. With that, I'm out. Peace.